Well, hi everyone. I've been trying to do this argument video for a couple of times and I've been goofing up. So I hope that this is going to be the final time I do this. So I want to introduce you to your third major writing assignment, which is a formal argument paper. So let's define, first of all, what an argument is. It's the art of influencing others through the medium of reasoned discourse. So, an argument aims to make people agree to and act on whatever proposition you're presenting. Proposition does not merely define or sum up the subject matter, it implies some dispute or opposition and challenges debate. I want you to remember that argument involves controversy. There's a lot of controversies going on in America today. Boy, oh boy. Okay, which you'll be able to write about at the end of this semester for your final paper. But argument involves controversy and is based upon an idea about which people have varied opinions about. Okay? So, argumentation, and I want you to remember this, it must appeal to the rational and logical skills of your reader, as appealing to readers through emotions. Okay? So, an argument, represents forms of discourse that attempts to persuade readers or listeners to accept claims. And there are three types of basic claims, and learn these: a claim of fact, a claim of value, and a claim of policy. Now, a claim of fact, of course, is something that's already been proven. It's fact. It asserts that a condition has existed, exists, or will exist, and are based upon facts or data that the audience will accept as being objectively verifiable. Example, you probably don't know this. The present cocaine epidemic is not unique. From 1885 to the 1920s, cocaine was as widely used as it is today. So that's a claim of fact. You'd have to provide the source, of course, as reliable evidence. A claim of value. A claim of value attempts to prove that some things are more or less desirable than other things, that they express approval or disapproval. And that's based on your particular standards of taste or morality. For example, my claim of value would be that boxing is a dehumanizing sport. A lot of people would disagree with me, especially men, because they love that sport. But I think it's not a very good sport. So a claim of policy now, and this is the third type of claim, asserts that a specific policy or policies should be instituted as solutions to problems. The expression should, must, or ought to usually appear in these claims of policy statements. For example, prisons should be abolished because they manufacture crime and harden criminals. Okay? So there you go. There's a claim of fact, value, and policy. And in your particular argument, you will have to provide claims of fact, value, and policy. What is your support? Well, your support is going to be your evidence. Those are going to be newspaper, magazine articles, academic journal articles, etc., etc. Okay? Okay. Let's go down to deductive reasoning, arguing from general principles. And I'd really like you to pay attention to this because deductive reasoning is something, it's very basic logic. Deduction is the process of reasoning from a general claim, from a large general claim, down to a specific instance. In deductive argument, the general principle is not merely restated, it is proven. So the strictest form of deductive reasoning can always be reduced to a syllogism, and a syllogism has three parts: two premises and then a conclusion. Now I want you to memorize this. Whether or not an argument is valid has to do with the argument's form or structure. So a deductive argument is valid when the conclusion logically follows from the premises. If the conclusion does not logically follow from the premises, then it's an invalid argument. So let's look at some examples that I posted. This is a valid syllogism. Premise 1, when it snows, the streets get wet. Fact. Premise 2, it is snowing. Fact. Conclusion, therefore the streets are getting wet. So why is that valid? Because the conclusion logically follows from the premises. But if I say premise 1, when it snows, the streets get wet, well, that's a fact. The streets are getting wet. Fact. Conclusion, therefore it is snowing. Well, that's invalid, because the conclusion does not follow from the premises. I mean, it could be sleeting, it could be raining. That's why the streets are wet. Okay, so let's continue. The next thing that I want to really go over with you, because you can read the rest, is a basic kind of outline. Now, you're not going to provide me with an outline. Okay, you're not going to send me an outline. This outline is simply for you to use to kind of flesh out and organize your paper. So in the opening paragraphs, what you want to do, you want to state what the problem is. You want to define the problem, explain the details of the problem. Tell your reader why this problem is important, why we should care about the problem. And then at the end of that opening paragraph, you'll write your thesis statement. And remember, it's more than one sentence. It can be 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences. And that's going to be the solution or the answer to the problem. It'll probably be a claim of policy, won't it? Then the body of the paper will be your evidence. And those will be all of the summaries that you have done with the analysis of the summaries, all your main points, which are all going to support your thesis. Then the next to the last paragraph is what we call a refutation. And that's a statement of opposing viewpoints and your response to those opposing views related to the problem. So how you organize this, idea-wise, it's just going to be one continuous paragraph. You're going to identify and state the opposing position. You're going to explain their position, why they hold such an opinion. And then you're going to say why they're wrong, why they're incorrect, why they're unreasonable, illogical. And then you're going to present why your position is stronger, more reasonable, more correct, easier to solve, etc. And then your concluding paragraph will basically be a summary of your evidence and a restatement of your thesis. So I hope that that helps. Now, also, what I want to do here is also, if you look on weeks 5 and 6 of your Blackboard site, I've just gone over pretty much read this, major writing assignment number 3 argument, and right below it is major writing assignment number 3 argument. It's going to be only 3 to 4 pages. And the due date will be 4 October. You're going to select either Argument Essay 1, Dangerous Drugs, or Argument Essay 3, At Liberty, on page 243 of your textbook. You're going to research and select 3 to 5 sources that you will use to support your argument. These sources must be from a reputable newspaper, magazine, or academic source. Then you're going to summarize each one of your sources. I want you to select the most important ideas into a 4 to 8 sentence paragraph. And then, this is going to be your evidence. This is what we call evidentiary summaries or summary evidence. And you want to place your in-text citation at the end of that summary. And I have examples of how you do in-text citations here. Now, after you summarize your sources, you want to ask yourself which of these sources is telling you about what each of these sources is telling you about the subject. Then you want to write 2 to 3 sentences that's going to begin your source summary. After that, add a few concluding thoughts about your source. What I want you to do is scroll down here and see sample summary with analysis. This is only to show you how to merge summarized sources with analysis. I want an essay. You are writing an essay with paragraphs that include your objective analysis that is strengthened with sources. Do not send me summarized paragraphs only. You are writing an essay, and read the example, and the sample argument paper is right below that. Then, you want to make a list of 4 to 5 main ideas that you wish to discuss in your argument. And then rewrite the list of ideas in order how you want them to appear in your essay. And then follow the outline. Just remember, this outline is just a guide, but do not include this outline when you submit your essay. Just submit your essay. So I hope that this has helped you somewhat. I hope to, I think my camera wasn't placed properly. I don't know. But anyway, so if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. Send me a message, an email, or say you want to talk to me on the phone. It doesn't matter. And I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.